Hello, my name's Andy Rafael from eTechnics.com, and today we're looking at the Jetway NC63-330-LF Mini-ITX motherboard. What comes included in the box is the IPC board user manual. You get 4 serial ATA cables, an I/O panel shield plate, a COM port adapter, and the Mini-ITX board itself. Due to this being a Mini-ITX board, a lot of the features are integrated, and going through the full specifications, this uses the Nvidia MCP7A ION chipset, has an onboard Atom CPU, which is underneath here. This particular board comes with the Atom 330, which of course is the dual-core 1.6 GHz CPU. It supports an FSB of 533 MHz, has 2 DDR slots, which support DDR2, 667 and 800 MHz up to 8 GB. It has onboard Realtek RTL 8111DL Gigabit Ethernet LAN, has an integrated ALC 888 6-channel HD audio, and also supports USB 2.0 data transfer. It also has integrated Nvidia ION graphics, which supports DirectX 10, Full HD 1080p, Blu-ray and HD DVD playback. Now taking a look at the underside of the board, we can see that it sports this green PCB. There's a couple of stickers, and we can see exactly where the bracket is that holds the CPU on from the other side. As you can see, the size of the board isn't very big. I mean, look at the size of it compared to my hand. The actual full size of it is 17 centimeters by 17 centimeters and uses the Mini-ITX form factor. As we spoke about earlier, this board does have 2 memory slots, which supports 240-pin DDR2 memory modules. It supports the speed of 667 and 800 MHz DDR2 memory modules and is expandable up to 8 GB. As this board does use the Mini-ITX form factor, normally where we'd expect expansion slots, whether it's PCI, AGP, PCI Express, there are none. However, there is one mini PCIe slot. Looking at where you'd plug in your particular storage devices, DVD rewriters, there are 4 serial ATA 2 ports here, so these will operate at a speed of 3 gig per second, depending on the device that you're using with them. There is no IDE slots on this board. Now taking a quick look at the board's cooling, we can see that most of the board is taken up by this heatsink. It's quite a low profile heatsink and it has a very small fan over here. Underneath the fan is where you'll find the Nvidia MCP7A ION chip, and underneath this side is where you will find the Atom CPU. You can see that this fan traipses through the heatsink and gets plugged in over here. Now taking a look at the various different fan headers on this board, we can see we've got the CPU fan over here that we already spoke about. Over here is your system fan 1, and if we spin the board round, next to the CMOS battery is where we'll find system fan 2. This motherboard has lots of different headers on it. Straight away we can see the CD in header is right next to the audio ports. We can also see the audio header, CIR header. We have power LED headers over here for fitting the LEDs that are connected to the front of your case. We also have all the rest of the front panel connectors over here and USB headers over here. If we turn the board around slightly, we can see that there are 3 lots of headers over here. These headers include the serial port header, GPIO header, and LPC header. As well as having various different connections and headers, this board also has some jumpers. At the top up here we can see the JP1 jumper. Down here next to the battery is where we can find the JBAT or CMOS jumper. We also have JP3, which is just hidden behind the audio panel on the back. And we also have JP5, which is situated over here. I'll just give you a brief rundown of what JP1 and JP3 and 5 are. JP1 is for the keyboard mouse power on function, and JP3 and JP5 are for the power on for USB. Now taking a look at the various different connections on the I/O panel on the motherboard, see that we have a keyboard connector, 2 USB ports, HDMI, DVI and VGA ports, because of course this motherboard does have onboard graphics. We also have another 2 USB ports here, an RJ45 LAN port, another 2 USB ports, and for the audio we have line in, line out and mic in, and if this was the NC63P, over here is where you would find a DC 12 volt port. This is normally the part of the review where we talk about price and value for money. But I've got to be honest, I couldn't find this product for sale anywhere. It wasn't just the UK. In the UK, it does seem like there are only very few Jetway products actually available. The rest of the world, which is United States of America, Australia, the rest of Europe, they only had a very select few Jetway products, and nowhere seemed to have this product in stock. So I can't give you a price on this product. With this board, I think it's perfect for sort of the everyday average HTPC user. It's got everything that you need with the Nvidia ION chipset. It's a fantastic chipset. Onboard graphics, DirectX 10, you've got the onboard high definition channel sound, you've also got the Gigabit Lan, 2 memory slots, and the cooling, it's got the right idea, but it just needs some improvement, I think. The temperatures, especially on load, are quite high considering some of the other Atom boards that we've looked at in the past, even the ones from Jetway themselves. There was one thing I was disappointed in, and that was trying to actually find the product. I couldn't find it anywhere, so that is one of the main reasons what's made me come to the conclusion on the rating on this board. If it was available actually in quite a few retailers, then I'd be giving it a higher rating, but for now, all I can give it is 3 out of 5 stars.